Hi everybody and welcome to the very first episode of Race Hacks. In this episode, we'll be touching on proper steering techniques, what is the 39 Pro Racers grip and why all the Pro Racers are using this grip. Most importantly, we'll be talking about most common mistakes made by many drivers which will definitely hinder their progress and improvement as a driver in the future or even now. I'll be also showing you videos and explaining to you why all these techniques are so important, and by having the right steering techniques right at the start, you are setting up yourself for success in the future of your motorsports adventure. Even if you are not interested in circuit driving or you are not an aspiring racer, I think that these techniques can help you in the event that you lose traction and even save you from an accident when you lose control of your car. So stay with me and learn how to steer like a pro driver. Well, before I start with this tutorial, I'd like to present you some questions. These are the questions that I asked myself when I first started racing and circuit driving. So have you ever wondered how do all these top drivers and professional drivers that we see on YouTube and TV, how are they able to drive at the limits of the car at all times, lap after lap, race after race, and they don't crash? What gives them the confidence to drive even above the limits of the car and make sure that they are able to keep the car in check and drive on smoothly? Whereas for some of us, when I first started, once I start to slide or go above the limits of the car just by a little bit, I fumbled and then I just spin out and crash. So if you have the same question as me when I first started, I think you have come to the right place. So after so many years, I realized that proper steering techniques is very important and it gives us the confidence to drive at the limit at all the times. It helps us build that confidence. So stay with me, let's go. First up, let's talk about steering distance and sitting position. Okay, Singapore is a very stressful city, so whenever we drive on the streets, we would like to be relaxed. We lay back and we fully straighten our arms and steer. Okay, for some of us who have watched too much Fast and Furious, we tend to steer like this. Okay, very handsome. But anyway, if you do this on the racetrack, it's actually very disadvantageous to you. Let me explain to you why. Okay, let's do a very small experiment. Okay, fully straighten your arms and steer as fast as possible. Okay, next up, bend your arms slightly around 110 degrees and we do the same thing. You will realize that just by bending your arms slightly, okay, you unlock much faster steering response and also you feel much stronger. Why? Because by doing this, you'll be using your biceps, triceps and shoulder at the same time to steer for you. Whereas when you fully straighten your arms, you'll be using only your shoulder muscles. That's why you feel so much slower and weaker. When you are driving on the limits at the track, okay, you will start to slide sometimes. You'll need to counter steer. So you want your steering response to be fast, you want it to be precise and strong. So next time before you move up to the track, please remember to adjust your seat first. Okay, closer to the steering wheel with a slight bend arm. Okay, or if you already have a bucket seat but the steering wheel is still too far from you, please get a deep dish steering wheel or maybe invest a little bit money to buy an extender to extend the steering wheel closer to you. I think that this is a very small investment for your own safety. So if you do not know where to get them, maybe you can contact our partner Simfy or maybe Mickey Marketing. They can get it for you. So let us move to the next step. Okay, now let us talk about the 39 Racers grip. Okay, why 39? Because simply you hold the wheel at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock position, which is at the side of the steering wheel. Okay, let me show it to you. You hold on to the side of the steering wheel, left and right side. Okay, and then you bend your arms slightly. You realize that if you bend your arms slightly, you can turn and steer more too. If you pay attention to all the videos that you see online or on TV, especially the onboard videos of the drivers, you will realize that all the top drivers and the professional drivers, as even in the time attack scene too, they will always maintain the 3-9 racers grip. No matter how tight the turn is, they will always do their best to maintain the grip on the steering wheel. If you are into higher level like F1, Super GT or Le Mans, the design of their steering wheel is in a rectangular shape, where you are only allowed to grip on the left or right side of the steering wheel. Why are they designed in this way? Okay, because in the first place, you are not supposed to grip anywhere else. One of the most common and perhaps the biggest steering mistakes that I see nowadays is what I call the steering wheel shuffle, or the shuffling of the steering wheel. So what I mean by that, let me show you. Many drivers, they turn into the corner and it starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable. They shuffle their grip away from the 3-9 and adjust like this. So when the car starts to go back and straighten up, they will do the shuffle back. So in actual speed, it will look like this. But let me break down to you why the racer's grip is so important and you should never ever shuffle your steering wheel. Number one, consistency. Just like many other sports, subconscious is very important in racing and circuit driving. When you are traveling so fast on the track, everything is happening so fast, you do not have the time to process and think, oh, I learned that in episode 5, I learned this in episode 3. No, you do not have time to think. Your body just reacts to what is happening around you. So if you do not have a consistent grip, you are not allowing your subconscious to train itself. You are not allowing your body to learn the proper techniques. When you are holding the steering wheel the proper way and you maintain it, as long as you put your arms side by side, you know that your car is facing straight. Okay. After you take a corner and you turn back without looking at the steering wheel, you know that you are facing straight already. So sometimes we drive a little bit too fast and we lose a little bit control here and there. We need to do correction. Okay, you know that you will be back at the exact same steering input before the correction. So this can only be done if you have a consistent steering grip. But if you like to steer with a shuffle, okay, whenever you put your arms side by side, you'll realize that the angle is never the same. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, because you never know how much you have shuffled. If you are driving at the limits and your car start to lose a little bit control or you go into understeer, you need to do some correction. You still need to spend time and a conscious effort to look at the wheel to decide whether am I at the correct angle or not. Okay, it's confusing and it can be dangerous. That is why consistency is very important. Number 2, steering speed. If you have a proper racer's grip, your steering speed, response and input will be much faster. This is left, this is right, this is straight, as compared to this. Very obviously. So this is why it gives me a lot of confidence to push hard in the corners, is because whenever I feel there's a need to correct, there will not be any delay between my response and my input. It will be very difficult to control your car and keep it in check if your steering speed is slow. So my take is, if you want to be fast on the racetrack, you have to be confident. Okay, you must dare to push hard in the corners, and in order to build that confidence, you must equip yourself with fast steering speed. Okay, let's take a look at this next video. If I'm not wrong, this is Sepang turn 6. I went in a little bit too fast and brake too hard, so the rear start to come out and I go into a slide. Let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at this corner again in slow motion. As I enter third gear, I brake hard into the corner. I may have pitched the car a little bit too hard, so my rear start to slide out. Okay, without any delay or looking at the steering wheel, I counter steer to the right angle and get the car back in control. As I exit the corner, I straighten my steering wheel and exit with power.
There's actually no magic to it. The reason that I can react in time and accurately is all because of my proper steering grip. So what happens if you do not have a consistent steering grip? You shuffle your steering and you start to lose control of your car. Okay, let's take a look at these few live examples. This is my teammate Senko taking the same corner and he starts to slide too, but see what happens. In the two video examples where both of the drivers spun out, you will notice that both of them actually tried to save the car from spinning, but due to their shuffled grip, they are not able to determine the correct angle and were always one step slower. By letting go and allowing the steering wheel to rotate itself, it further throws the car off balance and it went into snap oversteer. Once again, if you are not able to give the exact steering angle you want at all times and you are not able to steer fast enough, it is very difficult to react in time. Let's take a look at one more great example of proper steering by a pro racer. Fast reaction time, precise and decisive. It saved him from a crash in this super chaotic race. In some special cases where the corner is too tight and it is impossible to keep both arms on the wheel, for example this corner. This left corner is too tight and it is impossible for me to keep both of my arms on the steering wheel, so I release my left grip and maintain my right grip on the 3 o'clock position. As I steer in, my right hand became the master arm and my mental anchor point that I set on the wheel. Just like the left corner where your right hand is the master hand for your right corner is your left hand.
So in summary, we have touched on why the proper steering techniques are so important in order to be faster and safer on the racetrack. I would strongly encourage you to apply these techniques on your daily driving too, so that you can react faster and avoid any unwanted incidents that may occur. But of course, just by learning how to steer like a pro driver doesn't automatically turn us into a super complete driver. There are so many other different aspects of driving that we need to learn, and today is just the first episode. In the next episode, we'll be talking about the racing line, why it is the fastest and safest way to attack the circuit and how do we execute it. So if you like what you see today, please be sure to click subscribe on my YouTube channel at this button here. And if you are viewing this video from the Facebook, please remember to click like and follow my page Shane Ang Racing for the latest updates and latest episodes. Last but not least, please let me know how you feel by commenting in the comment sections below. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video, and may the fastest man win.